This is an exercise I like to use to help develop and teach towards the flying changes. So we're going to go large around the school. I'm going to stay on the wall for the start of this exercise, and all we're going to do is bring the horse back to walk and then ask for the counter lead. So coming off the right lead onto the left lead, and then I'm going to walk again and then ask for the right lead. And I'm going to do this all the way around the school, and it just makes it clear that I want the right lead and then I want the left lead. So making sure the horse is confident on the aids to the canter, keeping the canter forward in between, and you can make the walk steps as short or as long as you like. So I'm just doing a few steps to establish a bit of a walk, and then I'm asking for the canter lead and making sure the horse is relaxed in the walk. And then coming back to walk again. You can see I'm doing this all the way around the school. That wasn't a very good transition. And then into canter again. And you can do this if you find it easier a little bit off the wall as well. So we're just going to change the rein across diagonal and do the same here. So I'm just cantering a few strides and then coming back to walk and then popping him into the canter, coming through the short side. And then I'll do the same on this rein with the canter to the true canter. And you can see he's pretty relaxed in this and responding to my aids, getting it correct every time. It's not easy, but it does take a bit of practice. It's a great way to make sure that the horse is really listening to your aid. So walk again and then pick up the right lead. And when I do the transition up, I don't lean forward or lean down the leg to encourage the horse to go into the canter that I'm asking him to. I just stay in the middle of my seat, just purely asking with my leg aids and a little bit of bend change for the canter. So once your horse is confident of that, then you can take it onto a 20-metre circle, which is what I'm doing here. So just teaching the horse to go from left lead to right lead on a 20-metre circle. So on here I'm keeping the flexion to the right because I'm on the right canter lead, and then I change the flexion to the left and ask for the left canter lead. And it's important to make sure you keep the correct shape of circle, not very well demonstrated by myself on the first circle, and then into the canter. So establishing a good canter before I then ask for the transition back down to the walk. And then picking up the left lead. And you can see how confident he is at going from the left lead to the right lead and vice versa. So I'm just going to change the rein and do the same on the other side. So just changing the rein through trot, and it's important to just vary the transitions a little bit so the horse doesn't anticipate or start getting too clever. So then we're going to take the circle exercise on this rein. So establishing a nice rhythmical canter, and then onto the left lead. Now you may find this more difficult on one rein than the other, so it's good to note that, because that might be the issue with the flying change. When you eventually get to changes, the horse may find that side a little bit harder. So this exercise is good to improve that, to take the weight off the shoulder and get them more onto the hind leg. So you can see I'm just playing with the canter and then coming back to walk and then into the true canter. And when you feel your horse is confident at this circle exercise, then you can start changing the bend. And what I mean by that is changing the bend over so the horse can then change onto the opposite side. So here I'm just taking the bend to the inside, so I'm in canter, and I'm just taking a little bit of bend to the inside, making sure the shoulders are up towards the centre of the circle, and then I just ask for a change. And I say I just ask for the change, it is more difficult than it looks. So he gets a pat, and then I'm going to put him back onto the canter lead again, change the bend. You can see my inside hand stays wide, and the shoulders are up to the centre of the circle, and then I switch my legs over and ask for a change, and again he gets a pat. And when your horse is first learning the changes, you don't want to try and change to the outside leg, so that's why I'm bringing him back to walk in between this. So we're going to do this on the other side, making sure I'm establishing a nice forward canter And then we're going to take the circle 20 metres and then bring him back to the walk and play a little bit with the change of bend. So I'm walking here, putting him into the counter canter, then keeping my inside hand open and wide, changing the bend towards the inside. And you can see again that his shoulders are up towards the centre of the circle. They're not falling out. He stays balanced. And then I switch my legs over and ask for the change. As well as the horse being confident at the canter aids, they also have to allow you to change the bend as well. So this exercise helps with that, changing the bend to the inside, making sure they don't anticipate. You can see he's keeping the same canter rhythm, and then quietly asking for the flying change. This does take time to develop, so be patient, but you will get there eventually.